It's the Slam Dunk.
Okay, so Chloe Swarbrick is not one to admit she's wrong. In my dealings with her over time, she is sure that she's on the right side of things. She's not one to negotiate her point. She's not one to back down. She's clear what she stands for. She's clear how she sees the world, and she will firmly believe what she has said is right, even if it runs foul of the parliamentary rules. She firmly believes that the government and its MPs are being spineless over the situation in Gaza, and she wants them to take a much harder line. That's why she got booted out.
So, Mr. Speaker, I will reiterate my call for the government to pick up our unlawful occupation of Palestine sanctions bill and to sanction Israel for its war crimes. If we find 6 of 68 government MPs with a spine, we can stand on the right side of history.
That is completely unacceptable to make that statement. Withdraw it and apologise.
No.
Then leave the House for the rest of the week.
Happily.
I've seen and heard all the insults in Parliament over time. They're daily, it's regular, it's pretty common. And all MPs from all sides call each other derogatory names. Some slip through, some don't. I've seen Ron Mark give the bird to MPs in the House. But MPs know the rules, and they take their feet and they withdraw and they apologise and they continue the debate. Former Labour MP Dover Samuels once got to his feet claiming he'd been on the end of a racial slur from an MP. Now, that MP then rose and said, "Sir, I said don't be negative." Samuels had thought he'd been called a dopey N-word to finish, you see. So there was confusion there. Hell, Winston Peters has withdrawn and apologised more often than Brownie's had hot feeds. Well, don't know about them. Anyway, it doesn't mean that you have to mean it. And Winston usually says it so fast and moves on that you wonder if he's even said it at all. Withdraw and apologise, point of order. That's what he says. Few MPs trifle with the chair or the speaker like Chloe Swarbrick is currently doing, and she's knowingly and consciously making the decision to run foul of Brownie. She has no way of returning to Parliament without an apology. Now, it may be that Brownie went too far saying you're gone for the week, but that's his call. I think it's probably unprecedented. But this is how the place works. The Speaker is boss.
The decision I made earlier in the day to ask Chloe Swarbrick to leave the House, and the comment that I made was that it could be for the rest of the week. That was because, while it is true, the member can only be removed from the House for the sitting day, the requirement for an apology does not lapse. And so, if the member comes back in tomorrow and at the start of proceedings, after the prayer, takes a point of order and withdraws and apologises for the offensive remark, then that will be fine. If she doesn't, then she'll be leaving the House again. I'm not going to sit in this chair and tolerate a member standing on her feet, or his feet, or their feet, and saying that other members in the House are spineless. That is completely unacceptable. I made it very clear at the start of the special debate that I expected it to be conducted in a manner that was respectful of the various views that are held across the House. So I've come back in here to make it absolutely clear that there is still an expectation that there will be a withdrawal and apology. And until there is one, then the status quo will continue.
But there's no way Swarbrick's agreeing to that. So she continues to be sent out. She can come back in, but she'll be sent out as long as she refuses to apologise.
I invite Chloe Swarbrick to withdraw and apologise for an offensive comment made in the House yesterday.
I won't be doing that, Mr. Speaker.
Then the member will leave the House. No, the member will leave the House. Sorry, there's not a point of order at this point.
Swarbrick can re-enter Parliament as many times as she likes. She can only stay if she says sorry, and she withdraws a comment that national MPs are spineless, which is what she said originally. Now, you can look at this two ways. It's total grandstanding from Swarbrick over an issue that she feels strongly about, and they would have organised this. The Greens would have organised this in their caucus on Tuesday. Take a position, stand by it, become the martyr, and get lots of headlines. It's hard not to take a position for her. Israel has gone well past, this is the other point, Israel's gone well past making its point, and people like Helen Clark who have travelled to the border say it now looks like, it feels like genocide and ethnic cleansing. Surely Israel should pull back. A ceasefire is a must. So that's a point. And Swarbrick knows which side of the argument she's on. And I don't know how she comes back from this. You can't give qualified apologies in Parliament. So she can't say, sorry, but I stand by my comments, or sorry, but this, or sorry, but that. She must firmly say, sorry, my bad, completing the withdrawal and the apology. It's as simple as that. She doesn't have to mean it, but has to say it. Got to say it. The longer this goes on, the firmer Brownie will be in his ruling. Even if some people are saying he's gone too far, he will be firm in his ruling and he's standing by it. He's not going to negotiate this now. He's in no mood for that, Brownie. Is the word spineless the worst insult in the world? Not really. I mean, they use the C word in Parliament. But it's the context in which it's been used to label certain MPs, and Brownie's taken his position on it. I mean, that C-bomb was quoted recently in Question Time. It was even used the other day. And they got away with it. Remember that? The ACT deputy leader was using it, quoting that newspaper column by a Stuff journalist. So the C-bomb was used. So for now, this suits Swarbrick. She's the centre of attention. She's making her point. It gives the Greens plenty of profile, which they will like. So they can now control this. They can now work out how long they stay out of Parliament and become the martyr. And it will continue as long as Swarbrick refuses to say sorry. It is a stunt, of course. There's no doubt about that. It makes no difference to the people of Gaza. And no one will notice that their lives will change as a result. Nothing will change. But the Greens are conviction politicians, social justice warriors, more so now than ever before. And Ashley Church will talk about this shortly in our panel. But I wonder, why is it that they feel so strongly about this and not other issues? Why don't they feel strongly about other issues? Like, why don't they take a stand as strong as this for the fact that a New Zealand toddler is killed every 5 weeks in New Zealand? We've got a terrible record of violence against children. Every 5 weeks, a New Zealand toddler dies at the hands of usually a family member. And Parliament doesn't take such a stand on this, or the Greens don't stop the place for that. What about the so-called climate emergency? Why don't they try and collapse Parliament over that if it's so important? You don't hear from them on this. No, nor do they choose to make a stand on the invasion of Israel. Where were they when 1,200 Israelis were slaughtered, raped or kidnapped in the original attack, which kicked off this invasion of Gaza? Where were they? What did they not care about those individuals? Why were they so silent on that murderous attack? Swarbrick will be kicked from Parliament every day she tries to return unless she apologises. It's as simple as that. She will continue the stunt as long as it works for her, but she surely will come back at some stage when the headlines die down and she has FOMO, or fear of missing out. Swarbrick must learn the art of backing down and compromise and withdrawing and apologising. They've all done it. If Winston can, anyone can. So it's now on Swarbrick. Is she up to it? If not, she's out permanently, and that'll be her call. She knows the rules. How long she stays out of Parliament is on her now. It seems saying sorry really is the hardest word for Chloe Swarbrick right now.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.